Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5 and I thought I'd do another vlog style video. Some people like them, some people don't, but this is something that kind of interests me. Um, so I thought I'd put it out there and see what y'all's opinion is. Um, but a little backstory. I've always been fascinated with history, and one of those historical categories is the history of drugs, illegal drugs, and that kind of stuff, and just how they became illegal, why they were legal in the first place, because there were really no drugs that were just plain out banned. They were used um, for a long time before becoming illegal. And I just find it a little bit interesting. I used to want to become a police officer. I'm kind of thinking that's the wrong path for me now, but I was very interested in it. And just a little background on me. Um, I've never taken any illegal drugs. I have not had that experience. Anything I have taken was prescribed to me by a doctor, and whether it be um, anesthetic for surgery to replace my eardrum, or to sew my finger back on, or painkillers for post surgery, or to keep me just numb enough that I'm not miserable until my body heals. I never took illegal drugs. The one thing that I did take by prescription from a doctor, and I feel very strongly about this. This is kind of a touchy subject for me, but and I could talk about that on a later video. But Ritalin, for whatever reason, I was diagnosed with ADD, and it was not my parents who came up to that conclusion. It was the teachers at the school. But um, anyways, I got put on Ritalin. For those of you who do not know what Ritalin is, it's an amphetamine, and I took it for a while, and then for whatever reason, I can't remember why. This was when I was in primary school. I decided that I didn't need it. I decided I didn't want to take it anymore, and so I quit it cold turkey, and that really screwed with my mind. I mean, it was horrible, and that's all I'm gonna say. So yes, I quit amphetamines cold turkey. Uh, I don't recommend getting on them, but it was prescribed by a doctor. But that's not the subject of this blog. I wanted to talk about the use of marijuana. Um, like I said, I've never used it. I have friends that used it. I know people who use it. Um, they never pressured me into using it, and well, I did have this one friend who tried to get me to join Normal, or that organization, and but he tried to get me to join it a couple of times on Facebook, but I didn't. And this is where I'm at. I used to be what has been described as just to the right of Attila the Hun as far as conservative values. That's just a joke that we have. But I used to be very um, conservative, which I still am. But I was like, drugs are bad. You shouldn't be on drugs. Hippies are on drugs. They're bad. Da 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 da. Just say no. That was me. Um, but after getting into high school and stuff, and um everything, I started to be a little bit more open minded. I still didn't take drugs. I didn't approve of it, but uh, people who smoked marijuana that I know of, they want this evil entity that you know the um, old um, shows used to portray marijuana as. They want um, psychopaths or whatever. I do believe that it's not good for your brain, but they want that's it. They want what I expected, and I could have reasonable conversations with them and stuff. And I feel at this point in my life that marijuana is probably no worse than alcohol. Although I would probably never smoke marijuana if they did legalize it because I'm not a smoker. But uh, as you know, there was a lot of stuff across borders, country borders, about smuggling marijuana into the country, selling it, the cartels, and I had a conversation with one of my coworkers who's at academy, who's also he was doing that as a similar job while he wasn't at school teaching. He's a teacher, and I was having a conversation with the people I was working with, and I said, you know what? Historically speaking, back during Prohibition, the alcohol problem was rampant. People were smuggling into the country, they'll make it into the country, they're selling it illegal. People were still having the same issues even when it was legal. And I said, and these mafias, these gangsters, were getting rich off of it. And they were doing horrible things, massacring people, so just like any mafia gangster would do now. And I said, historically speaking, when we legalized alcohol, the mafias lost their income. Now, a lot of them became very rich and no longer needed to make alcohol, smuggle it, like the Kennedys, which is kind of interesting. They had ties with Al Capone. I'm not saying they're all bad or anything, but I'm just saying that's how they got rich. So I was suggesting if we legalized pot, it would probably do the same thing to the cartels down south. And he raised his opinion. He said that if we do that, it's a slippery slope, and where do we draw the line? Do we start legalizing other stuff? And he said, just morally speaking, he didn't agree with it, and I respect that opinion. In my opinion, you shouldn't be inducing that kind of escape through chemicals or suffocating yourself, like the choke game that the junior high kids do. You shouldn't be doing that to yourself. Treat your body as the temple, so to speak. And it's good to take care of your body. I'm a firm believer in that, and I completely respected his opinion. All I was stating is, if we did legalize it, it would probably end that problem, that particular problem. And he agreed that if we legalized it, we'd get tax money and all that kind of stuff. But it was just an interesting conversation. I often think about this. And then it comes to the classifications of drugs. A lot of people misunderstand the Schedule 1 or Class 1 drugs and the Schedule 2 or Class 2 drugs, because marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug, and cocaine is a Schedule 2 drug. And people misunderstand that. They think that the government's saying that marijuana is worse for you than cocaine. That's not necessarily the case. At the time that this was being discussed, they came to the conclusion that marijuana had no medicinal properties, and that's why it's Schedule 1, along with heroin, that has no medicinal properties according to the federal government. Cocaine, in pretty recent history, was still being used medicinally, so that's why it's a Schedule 2. And I'm one of those that believes that marijuana does have a medicinal property to it. I don't know what it is quite yet, but I believe that we could get some medicinal properties from it for like inducing eating, for people who I guess are suffering from anorexia or glaucoma or whatever, to help them eat. But I just see that the whole medicinal marijuana world, it is legal, aka not illegal. It's technically not illegal anywhere, but it's tolerated in certain states. Um, uh, they decriminalized it, and I just see so many people abusing it. Oh, I got a headache, I got a prescription for marijuana, and a lot of them will tell you that they really are just using it to relax, and it's not a medicinal thing. It's just they were able to get a prescription, and I think that doctors are over prescribing it in those areas. Used to it was just for cancer patients and glaucoma. Now it's just for, oh, I feel bad. That's how I feel, about that. But I often wondered, what if we took the psychedelic properties out of marijuana, and we just had what was claimed to be the medicinal properties, and we took that and put it in a pill, and people would take this pill. They would not. Um, they won't feel like really, really good or on top of the world, high type thing. They wouldn't be high, but they will get all the medicinal properties of the marijuana without smoking it and without the psychedelic side effects. Would it still be used like it is in those states? Would people be getting it for headaches, or would it be as popular as it is today? That's what I want to say. Would it be that as popular as it is, uh, right now as a smoked or inhaled product? That's what I think about a lot. Wow, if you didn't feel super high, but you got all the medicinal properties out of it, then there wouldn't be any issue. People wouldn't be abusing it, and you know that's my thought process. I still think it's hilarious, a little disturbing, but hilarious that the government outlawed a weed, a plant that you just find growing in the woods. Um, you don't see the government outlawing poisonous snakes or poisonous mushrooms, which mushrooms can be very poisonous. They can kill you pretty quickly. Um, you might get lung cancer for marijuana, but that can take years. Mushroom can take you out pretty quickly, and you don't see them outlawing those. So, like I said, the whole illegal drugs, how they became legal, how they became paying, the whole history of it is pretty fascinating, and the psychology of it is pretty fascinating, and that's my 2 cents. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you learned something. Maybe if you don't agree with it, that's fine. This is just me talking and spilling my thoughts. So I hope y'all have a great day. I'm a Satsu5, and I'm out.